I've beat my first Pokemon Hardcore Nuzlocke challenge in Pokemon White 2, using only blue-colored Pokemon. Let's dive into the rules. Any Pokemon that faints must be released or permanently boxed. I could only capture the first blue-colored Pokemon I encountered in each area. I also had to avoid using healing items, make sure my team's levels to ensure they don't surpass Gym Leader's ace Pokemon, and battle is always in set mode. Another rule was that if a Pokemon's evolution resulted in it losing its blue color, it had to be removed from the team. I named our protagonist Jules, after receiving a call from our mom instructing us to meet someone named Bianca for our first Pokemon and Pokedex. We stepped outside our home only to encounter our friend Hugh and his sister. Our journey led us to Aspertia City's Outlook, where we met Bianca. She presented us with our first Pokemon. Adhering to the rules of our blue-only Pokemon run, I chose Oshawott and named the little blue guy Cos, who has a neutral docile nature. Along with my new companion, I received my Pokédex, and interestingly, Hugh received one as well. For no particular reason, Hugh challenges me to Pokemon battle with his Snivy that hatches from an egg. After bidding farewell to family and friends, I ventured to Flossy Ranch for our first encounter. But first, we'll have another round with our rival Hugh. He sent out Snivy, swiftly outspeeding us with a tackle. I countered with a tackle in return. Unexpectedly, his Snivy chose to use Leer, followed by a final tackle, enabling me to secure another victory. In Flossy Ranch, two potential blue Pokemon could be encountered, Azurill with a 20% encounter rate and Riolu with a 5% encounter rate. During my first 6 attempts, I consistently ended up catching Azurill. However, everything changed on the 7th attempt when I finally managed to catch a Riolu. I named him Aim. Aim has a careful nature, which increases special defense and decreases special attack. Quite a good combination, I suppose. We then proceeded to search for the Herdier. Along the way, a man dressed in black, claiming allegiance to Team Plasma, who tossed us a free TM of frustration. After successfully returning the Herdier to a grateful couple, I headed back to Route 19 to begin EV training our Pokemon. In Route 19, we focused on enhancing attack and speed EVs by defeating Patrats, which yield 1 attack EV each, and Purloins, each granting 1 speed EV. Heading to the first gym, not evolving our Riolu due to it being nighttime, we faced Gym Leader Cheren and his team of normal types. Cheren began the battle with his Patrat, and I start with Cause, initiating the fight with Tackle. Patrat's first move was Work Up, boosting its attack and special attack. I continued with another Tackle, while Cheren's Patrat persisted in using Work Up. My next move was a Water Gun, but due to a miscalculation, Patrat was left in healing range, prompting Cheren to use a potion. I followed up with another Water Gun, bringing the Patrat down to yellow health, and then delivered a critical hit tackle to finish it off. I was concerned that if Patrat survived another tackle with 3 stacks of Workup, it could seriously damage Cause. Cheren's last Pokemon, his ace, Lillipup. I started with Tail Whip to lower its defense, as Lillipup goes for a Workup. After numerous tackles from Cause and more Workup from Lillipup, I managed to bring it down to yellow health. A tackle from Lillipup's hit Cause hard, bringing it to the yellow. But luckily, the Oran Berry I had equipped restored 10 health. Finally, one last tackle from Cause took down Lillipup, earning our first gym badge. Outside the gym, we encountered Bianca, who gifted us the return TM, an excellent move for Aim. Eager to evolve Aim into a Lucario, we waited until dawn and ran around the city like in a marathon.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Through our city marathon, symbolizing the strengthening of our bond, I'm evolved into a Lucario after defeating a trainer's Dunsparce. Our next stop was Virbank City, where we witnessed a white-haired girl in a delightful conversation with her father. Following this, we evolved Cos into a Dewott after a victorious encounter with an Audino. Entering the Virbank City Gym, we faced the white-haired girl gym leader named Roxy and her poison-type Pokemon. Man, just calm down, I'm just here to get a badge. Now I'm at an advantage because I have Aim, a steel-type Pokemon who is immune to poison-type moves. Roxy sends out her Coughing. I start off with a Workup while Coughing begins with a Tackle. Confidently, I use another Workup as Coughing continues with another Tackle. Then, I make my attacking move, Return, which finishes off Coughing. Roxy sends out her ace Pokemon Whirlipede. With 2 stacks of Workup, we managed to land a 1-hit KO with Return on Whirlipede, winning us our second badge. This guy with an afro took us to one of my favorite features in Pokemon, the Pokemon Hollywood known as Pokestar Studios. We made our first movie and my role as the Riolu Kid. We embarked on a boat journey towards the bustling metropolis, Castelia City. Upon arrival, I headed straight for the Castelia City gym, only to be informed by a man blocking the entrance that the gym leader was not here. At that moment, Iris, a girl with a blue hair, appeared but offered no clues. about Team Plasma's whereabouts. Following her suggestion, we ventured into the sewers where we teamed up with our friend Hugh. Together, we engaged in a double battle against 2 Team Plasma members. Victory led us with a surprise appearance of the gym leader of Castilla City. Hugh, our friend and rival, then handed us the HM for strength before parting ways. Shortly after, a man with an unusual hairstyle made an appearance. Deep in the relic passage, a new opportunity for a catch presented itself, with the possibility of encountering either a Roggenrola or a Woobat. In our exploration, we encountered a Roggenrola which we successfully captured and named Blue. Blue turned out to have a sassy nature, boosting special defense while decreasing its speed. Facing off against the 3rd gym leader, Berg, and his bug-type Pokemon, we started the battle with I'm against his Swadloon. I'm initiated with Work Up, while Swadloon used String Shot to lower our speed, repeating the process to further reduce I'm speed, ensuring that Berg's ace Pokemon, Levani, would outspeed us. Despite this, I managed to knock out Swadloon with a one-hit KO return. Berg then sent out his ace, Levani. It outpaced time and began with a not very effective Razor Leaf, which still dealt considerable damage due to a critical hit. I'm equipped with Leftovers, gradually recovered some HP. My next move was Return, which nearly defeated Levani, but it hung on and activated its Citrus Berry, restoring a significant portion of its health. My attempt with Quick Attack in the following turn failed to finish Levani off and it responded with another Razor Leaf. Berg then used a Hyper Potion, fully healing Levani. However, another return from AIM brought Levani back down to critical health, and this time a follow-up Quick Attack was enough to secure the knockout. Finally, Berg released his last Pokemon, Dwebble. I'm Force Palm, brought Dwebble to the brink, leaving it with just 1 HP due to its sturdy ability and also inflicted paralysis. After Dwebble used Rock Polish, I ended the battle with a Quick Attack, earning as our 3rd gym badge. Moving on, we encountered the man with an unusual hairstyle who introduced himself as Colress. With a quirky finger gun gesture, he caused all the crabs with rock-like shells in the area to scuttle away. Our level cap is now at 30, which means we can now evolve Blue into a Boldore at level 27. Before taking on the 4th gym, I ventured into Lost Lorn Forest in search of our next Pokemon encounter. It was only then I realized I had chosen the wrong version of the game to catch a Heracross.
Stupid!
However, in Pokemon White 2, there's still a chance to find Heracross in the hidden grottos. These grottos spawn Pokemon randomly, and if they're empty, there's about a 5% chance of regeneration after every 256 steps. According to a Reddit post I read, the odds of encountering a Heracross in these grottos are a mere 0.25%. Seriously, Game Freak? This seems even harder than finding a shiny Pokemon. After trying approximately for 7 hours, with a tight work schedule, I was close to giving up. But as it turns out, Heracross isn't the only blue Pokemon in the area. Just as I was about to leave, I stumbled upon a Panpour. I managed to catch it and named it Daba. Daba has an adamant nature, increasing attack while decreasing special attack, which is ideal considering its base attack stat of 93. Focusing on raising its attack EV seemed like the best strategy moving forward. We entered the 4th gym and we witnessed one of my most favorite moments in all of Pokemon. The battle kicked off with Elisa sending out her first Pokemon, Emolga, and I responded by choosing I'm. Emolga, faster in the fray, used Volt Switch while I'm prepared with the workup. In a surprising twist, when Zebstrika entered, it opted for Pursuit instead of the anticipated Flame Charge. I'm dug underground and used Dig to effectively finish off Zebstrika. Elisa then brought out Flaffy. I stuck with Dig for I'm, and knocking it off in a single hit. Finally, as Emolga returned, I decided on a return attack with I'm, successfully concluding the battle, winning us the 4th gym badge. Moving forward, I had the opportunity to engage in a triple battle with a local trainer riding a motorbike. We now gained access to the Driftvale drawbridge where I encountered a Ducklet. I decided to catch it and named it D. D turned out to have a sassy nature, which boosts special defense but reduces speed. Initially, I hesitated to catch it, considering its evolution into Swanna would mean losing its blue color, but I plan to utilize D in the upcoming gym battle. On Route 6, our next encounter was with a Carablast, whom I named Daba. Before challenging the next gym, I focused on training D at the Relic Castle to boost its defense EVs. We faced off against Clay, the ground-type gym leader. Clay led with Crocorock, and I initially sent out D. Predicting a crunch, I switched to I'm, but Crocorock instead used Torment. I'm struck back with a super effective Force Palm, quickly taking down Crocorock. Next, Clay sent out his bulky Sandslash. Knowing its strength, I brought D back into the battle. Sandslash's Crush Claw did minimal damage due to D's defensive EV training and the Aviolite I had equipped. D used Feather Dance to lower Sandslash's attack, and then I switched in Cause. Cause hit Sandslash with Razor Shell, bringing it to yellow health and lowering its defense. Even though Sandslash's Bulldoze reduced Cause's speed, another Razor Shell from Cause was enough to take it down. When Clay's ace, Excadrill, entered the fray, I knew this was the moment I had prepared D for. Expecting a slash, I switched to blue, but Excadrill used a Metal Claw. Anticipating a Bulldoze or Metal Claw next, I switched to D. D managed to withstand the Metal Claw, but a subsequent Rock Slide caused D to flinch, missing the opportunity to attack. Tragically, another Rock Slide from Excadrill was too much for D, resulting in our first casualty. Now suffering from a mental block, I sent out Daba, only to lose it as well to a Bulldoze. The losses were heartbreaking after all those trainings and bondings we had. Farewell. Left with no other choice, I sent Cause back in. Excadrill hit Cause with a slash, bringing its health to yellow, but Cause manages to retaliate with a Razor Shell, securing our 5th gym badge. Following our victory at the Pokemon World Tournament, putting a stop to Team Plasma's shenanigans and encountering a blue deer-like Pokemon running amok, and with Surf now in our arsenal, I made my way back to Route 4. There, I caught a Frillish and named it D with a double I. D has a rash nature, boosting special attack at the expense of special defense. A mixed blessing, given Frillish's specialization in special defense. Because of the new level cap, we also achieved 2 significant evolutions. Cause evolved into a Samurott and Blue transformed into a Gigalith via trade evolution from a friend. Our next adventure led us to Chargestone Cave, where we encountered a Nosepass. I named it Daba, and immediately evolved it into a Probopass using a rare candy, a transformation facilitated by the cave's unique environment. To enhance their capabilities, I trained D and Daba in special attack at Celestial Tower, where each Litwick encounter increases this stat. Additionally, I ventured under the Relic Castle to bolster their special defense. Our exploration continued into Mistralton Cave, where we encountered another potential team member, a Woobat. This has to be the most dangerous place in the entire game. I can't help but wonder, do the operators of this place even offer health insurance to their workers? It was time to challenge Gym Leader Skyla and her team of flying-type Pokemon. Skyla started with her Swoobat, to which I responded by sending out Daba. Swoobat's Heart Stamp, not very effective against Daba, surprisingly caused a flinch. On its second attempt, Heart Stamp didn't flinch Daba, allowing me to retaliate with Thunder Wave, paralyzing Swoobat. With a speed advantage, Daba used Power Gem, and a second Power Gem was enough to finish Swoobat off. Skyla then brought out her ace Pokemon, Swanna. Swanna's super effective Bubble Beam hit Daba hard, but Daba managed to paralyze it with Thunder Wave. Despite outspeeding Swanna and landing a quad-effective Volt Switch, it wasn't enough to take it down, prompting me to switch in Koz. Koz's return did significant damage, but not enough to defeat Swanna, which then used Roost to heal. Skyla healed Swanna to full health with a Hyper Potion, but after enduring 5 returns from Koz, Swanna was paralyzed, preventing it from using Roost again. One final return from Koz took Swanna down. Skyla's last Pokemon, Skarmory, entered the fray. I switched Daba back in, and Skarmory missed its Steel Wing. I used Thunder Wave to paralyze Skarmory and followed up with a Volt Switch back to Koz. Skarmory attempted to gain speed with agility, but its paralysis meant it couldn't outspeed Koz. A Razor Shell from Koz lowered Skarmory's defense, and one final Aqua Jet secured our victory, earning us the 6th gym badge. With our level cap raised, we were able to evolve D the Frillish into a Jellicent, and thanks to a strong bond of friendship, Day the Woobat evolved into a Swoobat. Our journey then took us to Reversal Mountain, where we teamed up with Bianca. During our exploration, Battle Girl Chen challenged us to a triple battle. In a devastating turn of events, our Gigalith was knocked out by a dynamic punch.
Oh no! No!
So, this guy is already warning us about Cynthia. At Undella Town, we have to fight with our rival friend Hugh, as I have easily beat him. Maybe sort of easily. Are they staging a climate change protest or something?
How dare you!
On Route 14, we encountered our next Pokemon, a Golduck. We decided to name this new member of our team, Dida. Our journey then led us to Route 13, where we encountered a Tangela. We named this Tangela Dida. spelling it with a double E. Dida's gentle nature increases its special defense while lowering its defense. In Lacunosa Town, we listen to an intriguing story from an elderly woman about a Pokémon known for eating people. There, we also engage in a double battle alongside our rival and friend Hugh against Team Plasma. Further on, at the village bridge, we achieved another milestone, evolving Dida the Tangela into a Tangrowth. During our time there, we also caught a Marill. We now enter Opaloosid City to challenge the next gym. It was time to challenge the gym leader, Drayden, known for his lower dragon jaw-like beard and his team of dragon types. Drayden opened the battle with his Druddigon and I countered with Cos. I started with a normal gem-powered return, reducing Druddigon to yellow, but Druddigon fought back with a crunch. Confident that another return would finish it, I was taken aback when it didn't. Switching tactics, I brought in D, but it too was hit by a crunch. Next, I switched to Daba to tank the crunch and used Thunder Wave to slow Druddigon down. After landing in Earth Power, Druddigon unexpectedly took out Daba with Revenge, a move I hadn't anticipated.
No! No!
Aim steps into battle. Aim finished off Druddigon with an expert belt-powered Ice Punch. Drayden's next Pokemon was Flygon. Flygon is a very fast Pokemon, so I switched to Dida. As expected, Flygon used Earth Power twice, while Dida managed to paralyze it with Stun Spore. Utilizing Giga Drain, Dida absorbed enough energy to take Flygon down after a second Giga Drain. Finally, Drayden sent out his ace, Haxorus. Dida used Stun Spore to paralyze Haxorus and then I switched back to Aim. Haxorus was paralyzed again, allowing Aim to hit it with an Ice Punch. Haxorus activated its Citrus Berry and attempted a Dragon Dance. Aim delivered a final Ice Punch, winning the 7th Gym Badge. Team Plasma decided to interrupt our journey, leading to a showdown with their leader Sinzolin. His first Pokemon, a Cryogonal, was swiftly defeated by just one Aqua Tail. He sent out a second Cryogonal, but it met the same fate, succumbing to another Aqua Tail. Finally, Sinzolin called upon his ace Pokemon, Weavile. A combination of Aqua Tail and Aqua Jet was all it took to overpower Weavile, effectively sending the old man packing. After completing the 7th gym, we're set to return to Undella Town, where we'll enter one of the most breathtaking sights in all of Pokemon, the Marine Tube. We advance to Humilo City to face the final gym leader, Marlon, and his team of Water-type Pokemon. Marlon opened the battle with Caracosta, and I countered with Dida. Starting off, I used Stun Spore while Caracosta retaliated with Scald. The next turn saw Dida unleashing a quad-effective Giga Drain, but Caracosta hung on with 1 HP due to its sturdy ability. Marlon then used Hyper Potion, prompting me to respond with an Ancient Power for some chip damage. Another Giga Drain from Dida was enough to take down Caracosta. Marlon's next Pokemon was Wailord, which Dida swiftly defeated with a single Giga Drain. Then came Marlon's ace, Jellicent. Jellicent began with an Ominous Wind, while I continued to use Giga Drain. Jellicent's health dropped to yellow, triggering its Citrus Berry. As Jellicent kept using Ominous Wind, I decided to mix things up a bit by throwing in an Ancient Power. Finally, with one last Giga Drain, I secured our victory and claimed our final gym badge. So these two buffoons will just ignore me for spying on them?
Your intellect is as weak as your dollar.
In the seaside cave, I caught my next encounter, an electric, and named it Dabudi. It has a relaxed nature, which boosts its defense but lowers its speed. Emerging from the seaside cave, we encountered Marlon and the Team Plasma ship. Determined to thwart their plans, we boarded the ship. There, my rival friend Hugh and I challenged 2 Team Plasma grunts. This battle marked a significant moment. An unexpected critical hit from Drapian's Night Slash destroyed D. This is what happens when you're too careless. This loss hit me so hard that I had big plans for D at the Pokemon League. Without him, it's back to the drawing board. Back on the ship, we challenged the old man and beat him once again. We now see them leaving and head towards the giant chasm. Now have access to the giant chasm. Let's get on board the ship once again to face off Corliss. The battle begins with his Magneton against my Dida the Tangrowth. I initiate with Bulldoze, but despite its quad effectiveness, it fails to knock out Magneton, likely due to its Eviolite. Switching tactics, I bring in Cause for an Aqua Jet, but disappointingly it also falls short of finishing Magneton. In response, Magneton executes a Volt Switch, swapping for Magnezone. As I switch to Dabudi, Magnezone's discharge is effective, leaving Dabudi paralyzed, a painful setback. Magnezone follows up with Flash Cannon, further paralyzing Dabudi. Despite the odds, Dabudi manages a crunch to remove Magnezone's 30. I then swap to I'm bracing for impact. Magnezone hits with a Thunder Wave, but I was prepared. I'm has a Cherry Berry that negates paralysis. Now with the upper hand, I'm outspeeds and delivers a powerful +2 attack Swords Dance close combat, obliterated Magnezone. Colress then brings out Klinklang, but it stands no chance against I'm super effective close combat. Following this, his Bihayam falls to a one-hit KO return from I'm. Lastly, I'm faces Metang and then Magneton, dispatching both with successive close combats, leading us to a triumphant victory over Colress. In the command center, we encountered an old man wielding a sword-like cane, intent on conquering Unova. Abruptly, a ninja appeared, causing the old man to flee. Soon after, our rival Hugh arrived, and the ninja revealed the long-lost Purloin, now evolved into a Lipard. Suddenly, 2 more ninjas appeared. After defeating them, I exited the command center, leaving Hugh and the Lipard. We also evolved Dabudi into an Electros with a Thunderstone. Deep in the giant chasm, we saw the old man carrying a sword like cane. He summoned a dragon Pokemon that was inside the ship. Is he seriously going to kill us? Suddenly, we were saved by a boy riding on a white dragon who revealed himself as N, intent on stopping the old man. But the old man had a trick up his sleeve as he fused the zombie dragon Pokemon with the white dragon Pokemon. It was now up to us to put an end to this old man's evil shenanigans. As we faced the newly formed dragon Pokemon, I unleashed I'm, and with just one close combat we managed to take it down. The old man named Getsis challenged us to a Pokemon battle, starting with his Kofagrigus. In response, I sent out I'm. This situation was an ideal opportunity for I'm to spam Swords Dance. After maxing out Swords Dance, I'm was able to sweep through his entire team with ease, and now that is the end of Team Plasma Saga. We were still exploring the giant chasm, which presented an opportunity to encounter our final team member, a Metang. Running low on Ultra Balls, I made the decision to use a Master Ball on it. Only later did I discover that Metang has the catch rate of a legendary Pokemon. We named our Metang Dida. Dida has a neutral quirky nature, and we later nicknamed it Blue since we already had a Dida. Onto our final arc, we now head to the Pokemon League. We managed to level up Blue and evolve it into a Metagross, one of my top 10 most favorite Pokemon. At the end of Victory Road, our rival and friend Hugh called for a final showdown. He led with his Unfezant, and in response, I chose I'm. I opted for Swords Dance, anticipating a swagger, and cleverly equipped I'm with a Persim Berry to ward off confusion. I used a super effective Ice Punch. I took down the Unfezant and proceeded to sweep through his entire team. However, his Superior outspeeds and reduces Im's health to half, but a single Ice Punch shuts down Superior, securing a victory over Hugh. We now enter the Pokemon League, and here is our final team that will be representing to face the Elite Four. I'm the Lucario, Kos the Samurott, Blue the Metagross, Dabudi the Electros, Dida the Tangrowth, and Day the Swoobat. I kicked off the battle with the Dark Lord Grimsley, leading with I'm against his Lipard. The match began with Lipard's fake out, causing I'm to flinch. Fortunately, Im's steadfast ability kicked in, boosting its speed upon flinching. I executed a Swords Dance, but Lipard countered with Aerial Ace. Despite this, I went for another Swords Dance, only for Lipard to use Attract. I'm fell under its charm for 3 turns, ending up in the red. It was a risky moment, but I decided to keep I'm in the fray. Luck was on our side as I'm, proving not to be a simp, landed a quad effective close combat, helping us break free from this toxic relationship. We effortlessly swept Grimsley's entire team with a 4-fold attack boosted close combat, clinching the battle without breaking a sweat. Our next Elite Four challenge brought us face to face with the Spirit Queen Chantal. She opened the battle with a Kofagrigus, and I go for I'm. Starting strong, I use Swords Dance. Kofagrigus uses Psychic, and I respond with another Swords Dance, accurately predicting Kofagrigus would use Will-O-Wisp. I had equipped I'm with a Rost Berry, neutralizing the burn effect. This setup allowed us to finish off the living coffin with a super effective Shadow Claw. With Im's attack significantly boosted, we were able to sweep through the Spirit Queen's entire team of Ghost Pokemon. Next, we challenged the King of Fighters, Marshall. He opened with Throw, and I went with Dabudi. Throw struck first with a Storm Throw, guaranteed to be a critical hit, while I opted for Coil to boost our attack and defense. An attempt with Acrobatics was strong but not quite enough to finish Throw, so I switched in Day to tank the next Storm Throw. A Psychic from Day successfully took down Throw. Marshall then brought out his ace, Conkeldurr. Anticipating that Psychic wouldn't be sufficient, and wary of Day's vulnerability to Stone Edge, I swapped in Blue. Blue fortified its defenses with Iron Defense while Conkeldurr used Hammer Arm. Next, I used super effective Zen Headbutt, knocking out Conkeldurr. Marshall's Mienshao was next, but surprisingly, Blue outsped it and landed a Zen Headbutt, taking it down. The investment in Speed EV training was clearly paying off. For his last Pokemon, Marshall sent out Sock. Blue's Zen Headbutt missed, and Sock's Brick Break hit hard, reducing us to yellow. The following turn, our Zen Headbutt brought Sock down to 1 HP due to Sturdy. After Marshall used a full restore, I went for Bullet Punch to break the Sturdy effect, setting up for one last Zen Headbutt. With that, we claim victory. Our final Elite Four challenge led us to Princess Caitlin. She initiated the battle with her Musharna and I responded by sending out Aim. I began strategically with Swords Dance while Musharna countered with Yawn. Unfazed, I executed another Swords Dance, even as Musharna attempted Yawn again. Although Aim fell asleep, a Chesto Berry was at the ready, waking him up promptly. With Aim now fully alert, I launched a Shadow Claw to take down Musharna, setting the stage for Aim to commence a sweeping victory. The Elite Four has fallen, now the stage is set for the ultimate showdown. The final battle looms with the Pokemon champion, the Dragon Specialist Iris. It is time for the final battle with the Pokemon champion Iris. She started with Hydreigon and I countered with Aim. Aim, equipped with an Expert Belt, used a super effective close combat to quickly neutralize Hydreigon. Iris then sent out Druddigon. Anticipating either a Flamethrower or Focus Blast from Druddigon, I switched to Cause. Fortunately, Druddigon used Focus Blast but it missed. Cause's Dig inflicted slight damage and another miss from Druddigon's Focus Blast followed. Cause continued with Dig, but this time Druddigon's Focus Blast connected, reducing Cause's HP by half, predicting another Focus Blast. I switched to Day, but Druddigon used Dragon Tail instead, knocking out Day. I came back to finish off Druddigon with an Ice Punch. Iris brought out Aggron and I switched to Dida. Aggron used Automatize and then hit Dida with Double Edge while my Stun Spore missed. Aggron continued with Double Edge, but Dida's Giga Drain brought it down to yellow health and another Giga Drain finished it. Iris' Lapras was next, taking out Dida with a critical super effective Ice Beam, allowing me to have a safe switch into Dabudi. Despite Lapras' speed and a damaging Ice Beam, Dabudi's Thunderbolt brought Lapras to yellow health. Another Ice Beam from Lapras hit, but Dabudi managed the final Thunderbolt to defeat it. Iris then unleashes her ace, Haxorus. I sent out Aim and has hit X-Scissor from Haxorus. Now, finish it with an Ice Punch.
Oh my God!
Haxorus survives and hits Aim with an Earthquake. Aim had been instrumental throughout our journey. Without him, we would not have made it this far. So long, my friend. Aim's sacrifice will not be in vain as Blue steps into the battle. Haxorus then faced Blue. Haxorus goes for an X-Scissor thanks to the equipped air balloon. Blue responded with a climactic Meteor Mash, decisively taking down Haxorus. Iris' last Pokemon, Archeops, entered the fray. With Blue shielded and secured, 2 swift bullet punches brought down Archeops, clinching our victory, crowning us as the Pokemon League champion. As we enter the Hall of Fame, we mark the end of our journey, and that is how I beat a Pokemon Hardcore Nuzlocke using only blue Pokemon. What do you think of the run? Let me know down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Pokemon content.